Ubelel Shabbos Nizraim Bahanishamos Tzadikim. Now on the night of Shabbos are sown the souls of the righteous, that this is the flow from the river that comes out of Eden and so forth, from Yisod or Binah. V'ayin b'zohar v'yikro daf yud beis amud aleph ksiv zachor es yom haShabbos lekadsho uksiv b'maaseh Bereishis tad she'haaretz deshechulu. And look, in Zohar Vayikra it says, remember the day of Shabbos to make it holy. And it says, in the works of creation, sprout forth the earth, its green covering Chulu and Ayin Shem. Look over there. Find Mashikas Mizeb Tosefes Likutei Torah back Kitzer Al Pasuk Ki Haaretz Totzit Simcha. And look what's brought about this, about the growth from the land. And the Mamer, just as the land brings out its produce and so forth, its growth. Talking about the growth of the Garden of Eden and the source of the watering. That is when the speech is completed and the Chabad goes up. Then is revealed the pleasure through the speech and the statement that now it is good and so forth, but marshal, like we said in the allegory. Shabbos the Yoma, and Shabbos in the day, it's the meal of holy Atik. That is to say, another revelation of the source of pleasure, that's even higher than the pleasure from everything that he did and completed. Now in Chatzi Gulim we have here an explanation of the concept of the source of pleasures. The concept is that pleasure above is not, God forbid, like the concept of pleasure in a person. That he receives pleasure from something that exists outside of him, like some kind of food or some kind of intellect that he learns. Which is not the case above. By him may be blessed. Lo shaykh lo markein. You can't say that because there's nothing that's outside of him. But he himself is his pleasure. And he's called the source of pleasures. And that's the concept of Atik as the source of pleasure, that he reveals within himself his own source, that he is the source of his own pleasure. The concept of the pleasure that exists within him becomes revealed. And how do you reveal this level of pleasure? It's drawn down and revealed through the elevation of pleasure from everything that he did. And here it is very, and then the conclusion is that it's very good, and there's tainug in it. That through the elevation and the revelation of pleasure in everything that he did, that's the concept of the Shabbos evening, and that's called the lower level of Shabbos. Then you draw down the supernal Shabbos, it's called the Shabbos of the daytime. And that's the revelation of the source of the pleasures. And who caused this revelation? It's specifically through having spoken and done and so forth. acted and spoken in the 6 days of action. V'hini tov me'od chulu, and here it is very good. The conclusion. V'hainu she'amru shtei Shabbosos kilchas and dafka, that is 2 Shabbos according to their halacha specifically. V'hainu b'chinas yerida she'achar aliyah dafka, that is to say, a descent after their elevation. That's specifically the way they're according to their halacha. Echad holech malamata l'mayla, first going from below to above. V'hainu b'leil Shabbos, that is to say, in the evening of Shabbos. V'habez holech malamayla lamata, and second going from above to below. V'hu b'yom Shabbos kanal v'dal, and that's during the day of Shabbos. Like we said, and that's enough to understand this, that once you have both going from below to above and coming from above to below, I guess that's kil chasan. Like it says in another place concerning, and I've walked amongst you, that he salachti is a reflexive, and there implies 2 types of walking, 2 types of movement, milamata lamayla, milamayla lamata, both from below to above and from above to below. Kamushin is born gamkin b'Torah Ohr Parshas Vayeshev, and like it's explained also in Torah Ohr Parshas Vayeshev, v'dibur hamaschil ko amar chulu. In the Mamer, Hashem said like this: concerning the idea, I will give you walking in bin home dimaila and so forth. That mahalchim is plural, more than one hiluch. Ubemeore or Osei Sif Yud Halicha. It says there that movement going kinoi el hazivug is a euphemism for intimacy and union. Holich al haderech yisod nukfa. They're like going into the path, which is the yisod of the feminine aspect, beregel mivurachas, with a leg that's blessed. Shu yisod, that the leg corresponds with, I guess, the masculine yisod. And that's so the path is the feminine aspect, while the leg is the masculine aspect, uniting together. Now these 2 Shabbos, according to their halacha, that's the 2 concepts that's the 2 times Noach. Ki Noach necha, because Noach is resting. Hainu b'chinas Shabbos, that is the aspect of Shabbos. B'china ha'beis ha'bechinos de Shabbos, hainu Shabbos temale Shabbata v'Shabbata diyoma, and you have these 2 concepts of Shabbos. That is the night of Shabbos and the day of Shabbos. So that's 2 times Noach. This is also like the concept that everything on Shabbos is doubled, Lachem Mishnah and so forth. And look what's brought in the Mamer about look how Hashem has given you Shabbos. That you have to have this concept of somebody who toiled on the eve of Shabbos and so forth. Yochal b'Shabbos, they're the ones who enjoy Shabbos. Lahavin b'chinas beis haShabbosos, to understand the concept of the 2 Shabboses. V'hainu al yedei tefillah, and that's through tefillah. Shenekra sulam mutzav chulu. That's called this ladder that's standing. Umalach Elokim olim v'yordim bo, and the angels of Elokim are going up and down on it, and that corresponds with these 2 types of movement, from above to below and from below to above. So the Sulam Yaakov and the Malachim going up and down corresponds with these 2 types of hiluch of Shabbos Ilah and Shabbos Tata, because the Shabbos is also a concept of the Tefillah. Kitzer Daled, the 4th Kitzer, Kedei lahavin inyan Eleh Toldos Noach, Eleh pasolas harishonim. To understand the concept of these are the offspring of Noach, that these nullified the first ones. Yesh lahaktim inyan el maili shamri Yisrael bez Shabbosos. We first need to preface the concept of if only Israel would keep 2 Shabbases, Hilchasan, according to their halacha. So Hilchasan is also from the language of halicha, that there's 2 Shabbases need to be according to their halicha, going up above to below and below to above. That in order that in each Shabbos there are 2 concepts of Shabbos. Male Shabbata v'Shabbata diyoma, that is the night of Shabbos and the day of Shabbos. And Nikra Gam Kain Zachor v'Shamor, that's also called the remembering and the guarding. B'Male Shabbata hu alius milamata l'mayla, that in the night of Shabbos it's the elevation from below to above. She'olim hamachshava v'achachma b'mekoran, that are elevated, the thought and the wisdom in their source. V'nim shachiskalut sa'onig mikol asher asa, and it was revealed the source of pleasure from everything that he did. V'zeu inyan siudasa dechakal tapuchin kadishin, and that's the concept of the meal of the field of the holy apples, the tika kadisha, veziranpin asyan sada behadei, these aspects that are coming to the meal with you. They join the meal b'Shabbat diyoma, and in the Shabbos of the daytime, it's drawing down from above to below, from the source of pleasures, and it's called the meal of the holy Atik. So in the nighttime it's Chakal Tabuchin Kadishin, and in the daytime it's Sudasa Datika Kadisha, Zeo Beza Shabbasos Kil Chasan, and these are the 2 Shabboses according to their halacha. Zeo Inyan Beis Pamim Noach, and that's the 2 times of resting of Noach. V'achar kol zeh yisbar inyan Eleh Toldos Noach Eleh Pasul Chula. Now after all this, we can explain the concept of these are the offspring of Noach, that the word Eleh and not Ve'eleh nullifies the previous and so forth. And there's further 3 kitzurim in the Hagos, in these Hagos of the Tzemach Tzedek. Ha'alef Perish v'Nahar Yotzin Me'eden. The first kitzur explained the idea of the river that comes out of Eden, Habez Inyan Hashabasos, and the second is the concept of the 2 Shabbases, Maschil Kitzer, Bigmara Malacha Chulu. We start a short version of the concept of finishing your work, Chulu and so forth. Hagimel Inyan Chakal Tapuchin Kadishin. The third Kitzer concerns the idea of the field of holy apples, Binyan Perush Hilchasan, the concept of according to their halacha, according to their halicha,